Hey friends, it's Friday and that means only one thing. It's time for a flashback. This week I have a story for you. But before we get to that, just gotta be a little bit patient. So, the story I'm sharing with you guys today happened to me on my very first mission trip. And if I remember correctly, it actually happened on the very first kid camp that we went to. But this wasn't any regular kid camp. This kid camp was for disabled children. Now, by saying that, I'm not saying anything against disabled children, not at all. I love disabled children. They're so much fun to work with, and they are so passionate about what they love and what they do and just everything. In this camp, I was what you can consider the sports instructor. I was one of the people in charge of doing games and sports with these children. Now, me being young, I still didn't really know the difference between disabled and children and just regular children. I don't know how they reacted differently, and so to a point I didn't know what games to play with them. But I had one game that I knew everyone would love, and this game was called Tiger Hunt. Now, in this game, the people who were the tigers had all these pieces of masking tape on themselves, in which the kids would have to chase after and rip off. Now, I was one of 3 tigers. It was me and 2 other helpers that were doing this. So we played this game, and at first it was so much fun. The kids were loving it. Everyone was loving it. Everyone was having fun. Towards the end of the game, though, it was a completely different story. The other 2 tigers were officially done. All the stripes were off of them, and they kind of quit, I guess you can say. But I was still in, and I still had a bunch of kids chasing me. So I was running away, and I was getting really stressed out. It was a hot day. I was getting super tired from running, and I was just tired mentally and all that as well. But these kids would not stop chasing me no matter what I would tell them. Now, the kids that were chasing me were the ones who it took them a little bit more time to understand what was going on and to understand what to do. And so they kept on chasing me because they were having fun, and it still didn't get to them that, it was the end of the game, no matter who told them or who was saying what. Eventually, me being tired and just trying to get away from these kids, I ran into the kitchen and closed the door behind me just to get away from them. And I thought maybe once we're separated, they'll understand that, oh, that's done, and that'll be it, and they'll stop chasing me. But I closed the door, and the kitchen ladies in the kitchen automatically told me, don't close the door, we're gonna suffocate in here, we're cooking, it's super hot, please open the door. And so I didn't really have a choice, so I opened the door and I went out. When I went out, I had 3 kids who jumped on me, and it's sad to say, and I still regret this to this day, but when that happened, I snapped. I lost my temper. I didn't have any more patience. And so I physically ripped these kids off of me and threw them down on the ground. And at the same time, I yelled, "We are done. We are done playing this game. Stop chasing me." In that moment, everything froze. Everybody in the camp froze and looked at me. I froze and looked at myself, and it felt like it was just, all the attention was on me. And that's right, because I yelled so loud and just completely lost my temper, and just came out of nowhere. I wasn't even expecting it from myself. And in that very same instant, I regretted what I did, and I became super ashamed of myself, and I became super upset with myself. And so I left. Now, when I say that I went away, I don't mean I ran away or anything like that. I just went outside of the camp boundaries to get away from everybody. In that time, my mom came and found me. She talked to me. Also, the director of the camp came and talked to me about what happened. But no matter what they said, no matter or what they did, whatever, they encouraged me, I just didn't feel better at all about what happened. I really messed up. But eventually, I reflected, I had my moment, talk with God, and I went back into the camp. I apologized to the kids, and they apologized to me as well, and we're on our way. But I did learn one thing that day, and that was no matter what, I'm never going to snap again. I learned patience, and not just, regular old patience, but, the long lasting patience. I believe it's called perseverance. I told myself I'm never going to do that again, because seeing who you are without patience was super scary, not just to me, but I'm sure to everyone around me. And so in that moment, it became apparent to me how important patience was. And so I want to bring this back to our world, our first world country now. I want to ask you guys a question. Where do you guys lack in patience? I want you guys to have your kind of a little bit of your own flashback. I want you guys to reflect on those moments. Maybe you had a big moment like me. Maybe you have small moments. Maybe you're like, oh, I am so patient. I've never had any moments where I've lost my temper or anything like that. I'm super patient. I have perseverance in everything. But I want you guys to really think. I want you guys to really reflect. And especially reflect on moments in your life or moments in your day where you're alone, when there's nobody around you. I feel like it's a lot easier to notice something about yourself when there's other people around you, because you kind of pay more attention to what you're doing and all of that. But when you're alone, there's no one there to judge you. There's no one there to physically say anything. So you do whatever you want, basically, without noticing what actually you do. And so that is the end of our video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I wanted to remind you guys to have a little bit of your own flashback today and think about the times in your life or the times in your day where you might need a little bit more patience. And just in general, think about patience, what it is. Why is it important for us? Why is it important for us as Christians to have? And just in general, where you as a person can improve in it. If you enjoyed the video today, please leave a like down below. If you want to join this great community that we're building here, you can subscribe. And if you want to get a notification for when my next videos come out, you can also hit that bell icon to get those notifications. So I hope God blesses each and every one of you guys abundantly. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.